Hey, Steelers Nation. We're back with an exclusive video packed with the latest updates on our beloved Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. This way, you'll never miss any exclusive updates or exciting Steelers news. The rumors started quietly, almost like background noise in the endless cycle of sports talk, but keeps growing louder with every passing hour. And now people around the league are whispering that Mike Tomlin's time with the Pittsburgh Steelers might be nearing a shocking end. For years, Tomlin has been the face of stability, the calm voice in chaos, the coach who seemed untouchable no matter how turbulent things became. Yet lately, the mood around the team feels different, heavier, as if a storm is forming behind closed doors. Sources close to the organization are hinting at internal tension, frustration in the locker room, and a growing sense that the message may no longer be landing the same way it once did. This is not about one bad moment or one disappointing stretch, but about an accumulation of pressure that has been building quietly. Fans are confused, divided, emotional, because Tomlin represents an era, a philosophy, and an identity. Still, in the ruthless world of professional football, even legends are not immune to doubt. And that doubt is now creeping into conversations that once felt unthinkable. What makes this speculation even more intense is the contrast between Tomlin's reputation and the current perception of the team's direction. He has always been seen as a leader of men, someone who commands respect without needing to raise his voice, someone who thrives when expectations are high. But insiders suggest that the Steelers are facing a cultural crossroads, and ownership may be questioning whether the same voice can still spark evolution. There are murmurs about stagnation, about predictable patterns, about a roster that seems caught between past glory and an uncertain future. None of this erases Tomlin's accomplishments or his long tenure that began in the late 2000s. Yet sports memory is short, and patience can evaporate quickly when ambition is involved. The idea of him being dismissed feels surreal, almost disrespectful to some, but rumors rarely care about emotions. They feed on uncertainty, and right now, uncertainty surrounds the Steelers like a thick fog. Around the league, executives and analysts are watching closely, not because anything has been confirmed, but because the mere possibility sends shockwaves through established narratives. A coach like Tomlin becoming available would instantly change the balance of power, and that alone fuels speculation. Some believe the Steelers might be trying to send a message internally, leaking dissatisfaction to spark urgency. Others think this is the early stage of a very real breakup, one that neither side wants to admit publicly yet. The silence from official channels only amplifies the noise, allowing every sideline reaction, every post-game comment, every subtle shift in body language to be dissected endlessly. For a franchise built on tradition and continuity, this kind of drama feels foreign, yet impossible to ignore. The question is no longer whether the rumor exists, but why it exists now and what conditions allowed it to grow this strong. Fans are caught in an emotional tug of war, scrolling through opinions, listening to debates, and trying to reconcile loyalty with frustration. Some argue that moving on from Tomlin would be a betrayal of the very values the Steelers claim to uphold, pointing to his consistency and resilience. Others counter that no position should be permanent, that evolution requires difficult decisions, even painful ones. In bars, living rooms, and comment sections, the conversation feels endless, circular, and deeply personal. This is not just about wins or losses, but about identity, pride, and fear of the unknown. Letting go of a long-time coach means stepping into uncertainty, and not every organization is brave enough to do that. Yet, according to the whispers, bravery or desperation might soon be tested in Pittsburgh. Another layer to this rumor involves the internal dynamics of the locker room, where leadership voices may be shifting. Some players are said to be craving a new approach, a different energy, while veterans remain loyal to the coach who believed in them. That kind of split can be dangerous, not because of open conflict, but because of quiet disengagement. When belief starts to fade, performance often follows, and decision-makers notice. Tomlin has always been praised for his ability to manage personalities, but even the best communicators can face moments when words lose their power. The Steelers, proud and disciplined, do not leak easily, which makes these rumors feel even more significant. Something is happening, even if no one is ready to name it yet. As the speculation grows, one thing becomes clear: whether the rumor proves true or not, the Steelers are at a defining moment. Mike Tomlin's legacy is secure, but legacies do not always guarantee futures. The tension between honoring the past and chasing the future is tearing at the fabric of the franchise, and everyone can feel it. For now, all we have are whispers, reactions, and that unmistakable sense that change is being discussed somewhere behind closed doors. In professional football, that alone is often the first sign that nothing is off the table. The second part of this story dives even deeper into the emotional and strategic implications, because if the Steelers truly consider moving on from Mike Tomlin, the ripple effects would be massive. This is not just a coaching change scenario. This would be a philosophical reset that touches every department of the organization. From scouting to player development, from locker room tone to public image, everything would be questioned. People inside the building would be forced to choose sides, to reassess their own roles, and to adapt quickly. The fear of instability clashes with the hunger for progress, creating a tense atmosphere where every meeting feels heavier than usual. Tomlin has been a constant presence for so long that imagining the facility without him feels almost unnatural. That discomfort alone might be enough to slow any drastic decision. Yet rumors suggest that hesitation is slowly giving way to bold conversations. There's also the external pressure, the kind that comes from watching other teams reinvent themselves and reap the rewards. The NFL is unforgiving, and staying competitive requires constant reinvention. Some believe the Steelers are worried about falling behind, about becoming predictable in a league that punishes predictability. In that context, even a respected coach can become part of the problem, at least in perception. Media narratives begin to shape reality, and once the idea of a firing enters the public consciousness, it becomes harder to contain. Tomlin, known for his composure, has not shown cracks publicly, but that does not mean he is unaware of the chatter. Coaches hear everything, even when they pretend not to. Speculation also includes what comes next, because every ending implies a beginning. Names are already being whispered, styles compared, philosophies debated, all without any official confirmation. This is how rumors gain power, by offering imagined futures that excite or terrify. For some fans, the thought of a fresh start is energizing, filled with hope and curiosity. For others, it feels like erasing history, like gambling with something sacred. The Steelers brand has always been about patience and trust, and abandoning that approach could redefine how the league views the franchise. That possibility alone makes this rumor feel bigger than a single coach or season. From a narrative standpoint, this situation feels like a slow, burning drama rather than a sudden explosion. No dramatic announcement, no clear breaking point, just a steady accumulation of tension. Those are often the most dangerous scenarios because they allow doubt to settle in. Every press conference answer becomes ambiguous. Every organizational move feels symbolic. Even silence speaks volumes. Tomlin's long tenure, which began in the era after the early 2000s, is both his greatest strength and his heaviest burden in this moment. Longevity breeds respect, but can also breed restlessness. What cannot be ignored is the emotional weight this carries for the city of Pittsburgh. The Steelers are more than a team there. They are part of the city's identity, its resilience, its pride. Mike Tomlin became woven into that story, representing consistency in an ever-changing sports world. Letting go of him would feel like closing a chapter that many are not ready to finish. That emotional resistance might clash with cold strategic thinking, creating an internal battle that defines the coming months. Rumors thrive in that kind of environment, feeding on every contradiction. In the end, whether Mike Tomlin is truly on the hot seat or whether this is just noise amplified by frustration, the speculation itself reveals something important. The Steelers are questioning themselves, and that is always the first step toward change. Sometimes that change is internal, subtle, and stabilizing. Other times it is dramatic and irreversible. For now, all eyes remain on Pittsburgh, waiting for clarity, while the rumor continues to grow, shaped by passion, fear, and the relentless nature of professional football storytelling. The rumor refuses to fade because it taps into something deeper than a simple coaching debate, touching the nerve of what the Steelers want to be moving forward. Around the league, people are saying this is not about anger or panic, but about a quiet reassessment of identity. When an organization pauses to look at itself in the mirror, uncomfortable questions follow, and Mike Tomlin's name naturally sits at the center of that reflection. He has been a standard bearer, the constant, the one figure everyone could point to with certainty. But certainty can sometimes become complacency, at least in the eyes of executives who live in a results-driven environment. The whispers suggest that ownership may be wrestling with the idea that loyalty and progress are no longer aligned as cleanly as they once were. That internal conflict is fertile ground for speculation because it rarely produces quick answers. Instead, it produces tension, silence, and mixed signals that fans and media eagerly interpret. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. There is also a generational element at play, as younger fans and analysts bring different expectations to leadership and success. What once defined excellence may no longer be enough in an era obsessed with rapid transformation. Some argue that the Steelers must adapt, not just on the field, but in mindset, embracing risk rather than tradition. In that debate, Tomlin becomes a symbol, fairly or unfairly, of an older model of stability. That does not diminish his skill or intelligence, but it does place him at the center of a cultural shift that extends beyond football. When organizations face generational change, even respected leaders can find themselves questioned simply because they represent continuity in a moment craving disruption. As all of this unfolds, one truth remains unavoidable. The Steelers are standing at crossroads, and Mike Tomlin's future sits right at the intersection. Whether the rumor ends in reaffirmation or separation, the impact will be lasting. If he stays, it will require renewed trust and a clear vision that silences doubt. If he goes, it will mark the end of one of the most stable coaching eras in modern football. Until clarity arrives, speculation will continue to dominate the conversation, growing louder with every unanswered question, reminding everyone that in the NFL, even the most secure foundations can begin to shake without warning. In the end, what lingers most is not the specific details of the rumor adjustment, but the emotion it has stirred. Anticipation, anxiety, excitement, and pride all blend together, creating a charged atmosphere that only football can produce. The Steelers' defense, shrouded in secrecy, becomes a symbol of possibility. Fans wait for clarity, yet savor the speculation, knowing that once the truth is revealed, this moment of imagination will be gone. Until then, the rumor lives on, shaping expectations and deepening connection. It reminds everyone why they care so deeply, why even whispers can feel monumental. In Pittsburgh, belief is built long before anything is proven, and sometimes the story before the game is just as powerful as anything that happens after. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.